Say it's all about rights, but rights can't fix the wrong that we do to God each day. How long can we stand strong? And all I got is one question left. If we turn our backs and spit in His face, is God still gonna bless the USA?
Greetings, Patriots. I'm Perry Green, and this is God in America. Today we want to talk about hidden treasure. In 1866, a young man walking by the Orange River in South Africa discovered a unique stone distinct from all the others he had seen. He examined it and realized he had found a magnificent diamond. South Africa would soon be famous for its diamond industry, and he inadvertently found a treasure that would impact his country. There were diamonds on the surface, and digging deeper, they discovered more incredible wealth. The same is true when we study the Bible and genuine history. Jesus told two short parables that make the same point. Matthew chapter 13, verses 44 through 46 read, "And again, the kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field, which a man found and hid. For joy over it, he goes and sells all that he has and buys that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant seeking beautiful pearls, who, when he had found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had and bought it." In the first parable, the man unexpectedly discovers a magnificent treasure. The valuable cache of wealth represents how precious God's kingdom is to us. Some of us weren't seeking God, but found Him through everyday experiences. Once we recognize this immense find, we joyfully sacrifice everything to obtain it. Genuine discipleship requires significant sacrifice to gain the kingdom. In the second parable, the merchant looked for pearls to buy and sell. In this case, he discovers an exceptional pearl and, as the first man, sells all he owns to acquire it. We may seek after an abundance of opportunities. However, when we find the most significant one, we pursue it fully. Obtaining entrance into the kingdom of God is worth all that we have. It is of immense value. There's no way to know how physically immense the treasure in the field was. The pearl was likely small. God works in paradoxical ways. We might think of the big and flashy being the most valuable. We might get caught up in the allure of glass beads and miss out on the things of actual worth. When we study the scriptures, we see that God's fundamental principles lead to gems of insight. Our ancestors learned the scriptures and realized some of the principles of government that we take for granted are Bible-based, not man-made. As a result, they launched a massive experiment in liberty that we have almost lost. Here are some unexpected gems I have discovered in recent years. Number one, pastors were the instigators of liberty in America. Number two, our ancestors did not establish a godless secular nation. They relied on divine providence and gladly expressed their faith. Number three, prayer was an essential element of our nation. Jacob Duché at the First Continental Congress, Washington's Valley Forge prayer, Benjamin Franklin's call for prayer at the Constitution Convention, and numerous colonial and national calls to prayer and fasting are a few examples. Number four, the Minutemen were churchmen beginning in Lexington, Massachusetts in 1775. Number five, our initial founders made covenants with God to establish America as a free nation and launching pad for the Great Commission. As I said, God works in unexpected ways. We believe He requires a prominent, heavily armed force to accomplish His will, but in reality, He needs only a few committed and submissive individuals to achieve His purposes. Think about this. The Mayflower carried a total of 102 passengers, commonly referred to as pilgrims. These individuals journeyed from England to the New World in 1620 as missionary families in search of religious freedom and a better life. Alongside them were about 30 crew members. The passengers included both pilgrims, part of the separatist movement breaking away from the Church of England, and non-pilgrims, often referred to as strangers. The pilgrims initially tried to leave England with more than the final 102. Providentially, their second ship, the Speedwell, was unable to continue, and they were able to pack as many passengers as possible on the Mayflower. Pilgrim leaders said it was as if God was reducing Gideon's army for his glory. Another God-led event occurred when the Mayflower encountered storms in the North Atlantic, causing the ship to deviate from its course. The little band of adventurers intended to sail to Virginia, but ended up in Massachusetts, outside the king's jurisdiction. Rather than lawlessly disembark, they wrote the Mayflower Compact to honor the king and, more importantly, God. The Plymouth colony would become a beacon of hope and liberty for future immigrants. The principles they established would in turn impact the American nation as their descendants helped launch it. A few individuals deeply committed to God will have a lasting impact on future generations. No doubt you have felt the crunch in the last 2 decades. America's soul has been up for grabs. We've turned away from the founding principles that drove our ancestors to flee tyranny, and ironically, during that time, most Americans chose a deep state regime's domination over freedom. The pendulum is swinging, and we, the people, are rediscovering the blessings of liberty and the one who provides it. Once we discover him and his blessings, we will do and give whatever it takes to know him and to continue in those blessings. Well, thank you for listening. As we close today, let's keep the light of unexpected discoveries burning.
Yeah, if we turn our backs and spit in his face, well, God still